Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 208, Domino Effect. Last we left off with Sakamoto Days, the world is now thrown into a frenzy as X has supplied everyone in Japan with a gun that only shoots 3 shots and purge-like rules where you are allowed to use these 3 shots in any way you choose without any legal consequences. So that should be fun. That should be pretty cool, I guess. And this chapter focuses on the fallout of such a experiment, as we start off with a lady on the train minding her own business on her phone, and this weirdo pulls up and just basically sits on her lap. Josh is doing an exact impression of what his face looks like right now. You need to be watching the YouTube version in order to see this. Why would you do that?
Is it really like that in Japan? Like,
I don't know. Fuck? But this lady has had enough. She's like, there's plenty of space, but you push up against a woman every day. This guy is a recurring issue. Day. That's crazy. So she pulls out her gun and shoots him.
So real quick, just for some context on how crazy transportation in Japan can be sometimes, every phone in Japan has a setting where whenever you take a picture, it makes a very loud noise.
Why? Oh, because people are taking just pictures of people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nuts.
So every phone has built-in extremely loud camera sounds whenever you take a picture.
Sheesh. People are nuts. But anyway, this guy dies. Pretty much the very first day that a citizen is that citizens are permitted to bear arms at 1:40 p.m. The first shooting happens on this train, and then, as predicted, road rage gets a little crazy. We've all been there, right? Traffic, am I right?
Traffic, am I right, fellas?
This is literally, this happens.
That'll show them. Okay,
so there's a road rage driver happening who's just like being a menace on the road. We've all been there. And one guy just gets fucking sick of it, steps out of his car, and shoots the guy in his car. Yeah. We then cut over to this. It's a Social Security division, and they're talking about, some guy is demanding he gets his money, his Social Security money, and the main guy is, I guess, like the guy who works there is talking about how his income is sufficient, and like you're only trying to get your money so you can deal with your gambling addiction. It's not inflation. That's not the reason why you a brokey. And he's like, what? So you're saying I deserve to die? And then he just pulls out his gun and shoot him. He's like, yeah. Blame. And he's like, it's thanks to garbage like you that people who really need support get demonized. So that's not good. Within 3 days of everybody in Japan having guns, approximately 0.25% of citizens, a quarter of the population, has used a bullet, and the number of casualties is 324,000 people. So that's not great. But on the bright side, there's been a 90% drop in petty crimes since then. Hello, Kira. Meanwhile,
are they even being reported?
I mean, what kind of crimes are we talking about? Everybody's committing a crime.
Yeah, like I like that shit was insane. I felt like they were saying that to be like sarcastic.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we cut over to X, who is sitting in the center of a gigantic room, and there's nothing but a chair there. And he's just sitting on the chair. There's nothing around him. It's a bare room. Nothing's there. But his 3 henchmen. And he's just sitting there like, watching the ticker go up. I think he's reading a book as this is happening. and he explains that like when one is firing a gun at someone for the first time, the first shot is a weighty decision, but then it just becomes a lot easier as it goes. And we cut back to that social security office where one guy is calling the other, the shooter for shooting a guy dead, dead center just for asking for his social security money, and the guy is like, whether he was a scumbag or not isn't the issue. You just killed a human being. And this guy has the counter argument. It's like, it's legal for us to use our 3 shots however we want. It's our bullets. We can use it however we want. And this guy is like, this is despicable. Resorting to violence is a disgrace. And yeah, that's when X cuts in to say pulling a trigger the second time is much easier. And right on cue, blam, he shoots the second bullet at the guy who's chastising him for straight up murdering a dude before him. And then X
Not
goes,
even threatening him.
nope.
Just
Like, I'm tired of this. Play. And X goes on to say, after the first shot, the threshold for killing significantly lowers. The taboo lifts, and even trivial events can serve as a trigger. At the end, there's no going back. And this guy who just shot 2 people are like, whoa. He's like, well, I've done nothing wrong. It's perfectly legal. And X goes on to explain that legalizing the act makes it completely guilt-free. The moral compass is astonishingly easy to destroy, and once the critical mass of people cross that line, their acts of violence justify others following suit. And then we see a lady off to the side about to kill the guy who just killed 2 people, and she shoots, and a new guy is killed, and added to the ticker of people who just die. Rion is looking at this, or Akane, sorry, is looking at this like, God damn, I should not have joined this team. I should not have been here, dude.
your hands are bloody. Yeah.
She said, this many people
Your
are
filthy
dead.
hands.
Yeah, she said, this many people are dead, and X is like, that's right. So Akane goes directly to attack X, it seems. Magna Girl tries to stop her, but then she does judo flip and flips her on her like fucking shoulder. And Akane is like, why would you go such lengths to spur people to violence? What are you trying to achieve? And X just explains, like, this is just payback for the dirty work they forced onto us. Yikes. Meanwhile, we cut over to the youth, the younger assassins that we have been spending some time with. I don't remember most of their names. I'm sorry. It's been a long time. Brian, if you could pull up their names just so I can know it as we go on. But we see this schoolgirl lady who was a big fan of Sakamoto, the big Sakamoto fan. She's watching this going on, and she's like, whoa, this shit is fucking crazy. The other 2, I remember one guy, the guy with the hat, has like super hearing or something. That was his thing. Mm-hmm. And I know the other guy is the son of Spear Guy.
There's Seba.
Yeah.
Seba. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Invisible Man, who is the brother.
The Invisible Man is
Yeah,
the
that's
older brother.
isn't
to the
that Seba or is Natsuki?
Okay.
Natsuki Seba.
Okay, so that's Seba. Who are the other 2? Who are the other 3?
Let me see.
Oh, there's also Mask Guy. Mask Guy is a different guy. He looks just like the
Mask
son.
Guy, that's the little brother to Invisible Guy.
Okay, so Mask Guy is little brother to Invisible Guy. Guy who was looking for his dad or something, who is currently alive and fighting alongside the Sakamoto team.
Yes.
Hearing Man and the Sakamoto fangirl.
That's who she is, the Sakamoto fangirl. I was like, she seems familiar, but I
Yes. So yeah, Seba is he ran an AI simulation.
The hat guy, his name is Joichiro Kaji.
Kaji, okay.
Kaji.
Seba.
Kaji. Mafuyu. Natsuki. Amane.
Is Amane the girl?
No, Amane is the mask. Oh no. Amane is the the grandson of the guy with the,
Okay, Amane. Sorry, guys, bear with us. It's been a while since
and
I've
I
seen this
think the girl's name is Mao or Now.
now. Okay. So Seba explains that he ran a simulation, and within 1 week, it showed that 9% of the population is dead, and they say that it takes 10% for a nation to collapse. So
Is that so?
Seba is thinking to himself, "It's like, but why is he doing this? It's like if he has a grudge against people, why not just kill him themselves? What is X trying to achieve?" And one other guy pulls up, and is like, "It's here. The you know what?" And he opens the box that he carried in, and it is one of the guns that is being distributed. And Seba explains that there is a biorecognition system within. He shoots all 3 bullets at the same time, and he realizes that the gun actually locks up after 3 shots. He also notices that the gun is slightly heavy, so he takes it apart to see what was going on, and he finds that that the extra weight was a microchip, which is a gram. He knows the gram weight of a fucking gun. So, yeah, he explains that it's a remote control module, and the JA can control the gun through the IC chip. It can find locations, register bullets fired, or lock specific guns. And with that, Seba says that with this information, they might be able to stop this act of terrorism. No, we absolutely have to stop it. And that's where the chapter ends. Wow, wow, wow. That's very exciting. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days chapter 208?
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this. I mean, yeah, I kind of realized really late in the game that that she's on the crazy side. I mean, she thought, yo, I still think this plot point is so wild that she's seen Rion through his personality disorder
Yeah.
and was like, oh, it's really you, and it's like, no, it's not. She's
Oh.
dead. It's a made up imaginary fucking thing that sounds just like her. Like, I get it. It's like, oh, this is the stuff that she would say and she would act this way. It is authentic, but it's still not her.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. Anyway, yeah, I hope they can hack the guns and shut down this, atrocity that's going on. I thought about the whole commentary aspect about, oh, if you gave humanity guns, this is like what would inevitably happen and all of that. And there was another line. Where was it? Where was it? Well, if I remember it, I'll bring it up again. But oh yeah, about like when power gets in people's hands, this is the inevitable outcome. And I just want to say I disagree with that. I'm not surprised. I just think I wouldn't be surprised if like you did put a bunch of guns in people's hands, like within a society we live in, which promotes competing for resources and like in the form of like jobs and places to live, etc. So I could see society warping into like massive violence, but I do think it's way more unrealistic. I think there will be casualties, but I don't think it'll unfold the way that it's been happening in this comic. But I still feel like maybe the comic is going to make a point about how society has been primed for something like this to happen in the case of like citizens getting guns, because of like how the JSA has like manipulated the government and caused society to be a certain way, etc. I just think these things would be interesting, and if the author just kind of says these things just to say it and get the plot moving, I won't be devastated and super disappointed, but I will think it's a missed opportunity to kind of, make make the point more interesting instead of him just being a cartoonishly evil villain. But whatever. Those are my thoughts. I'm looking forward. I like this other crew they got here with the kid with the mask and the invisible and his brother, the dude with the hearing, and even the Sakamoto fan. I really like the tertiary characters in Sakamoto Days. And that's what I said like earlier. If this arc leads to seeing these characters get fleshed out a little bit more with a bunch of like fights that they have to just obligatorily get into, I'm cool for it. I'm down. I like Sakamoto Days when there's action.
Yeah.
Brian, what were your thoughts?
Um, this was a pretty fun chapter for me. I really like the like Josh mentioned. I really like the other side team that's coming around. I think it's good. It's kind of like an idea that this is what Sakamoto's influence has kind of created is another group of former or aspiring assassins to kind of turn a new leaf and try to stop or kind of murder and chaos. So this whole group here is kind of like just a byproduct of Sakamoto's kind of no killing rule, right? Like they've all kind of come to like met with him or people who have also been influenced by him. So this will probably be like a pretty, big turning point for assassins because it will just end up becoming like a mantra that continues to be spread. Um, and it's kind of going to be the thing that's counteracting all this kind of normalized murderous intent that's supposed to be kind of spreading, right? It's kind of like a flip of a coin, right? Like everything's turned on their head. Like assassins are supposed to be the one killing people, and normal people aren't supposed to kill. And now it's the other way around, where it's assassins are trying to stop the killing, and all the normal people are trying to kill. You know what I mean? Like it's a very interesting dynamic, and I'm really curious to see how it kind of pans out. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope we stick around with this crew for a bit.
Yeah.
Though I don't think that's going to happen, but I think it'll be really cool. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I like this chapter a fair bit. I agree. I do like seeing the other side. It also is on not a world building perspective, but it does give an alternate. It's good to have two teams of protagonists working on this, and seeing how like their paths are going to converge with Sakamoto and all them. All these characters I remember actually being super cool in one way or another. I'm excited to see how it all goes out because they're gonna have to fight. I bet they take down one member of the order, all of them together if they had to. But that was cool. I like that they immediately figured out how the guns work. I remember that Seva was like a weapons manufacturer and he created like the invisibility gear and all that stuff. So it was a cool callback on his character. I do find it strange that X didn't take it into account that there would be assassins out there that would notice like the weight difference and figure out how to stop the guns. But I guess in his mind, he's probably like, it doesn't even matter if they know. They won't be able to stop it.
He probably feels like enough damage has been done.
Right.
Like enough damage in the initial time before they figure it out.
Yeah.
Will be enough to create enough of a cascading effect.
Right. And it's even that like the damage is done already. I've proven my point. I was right.
Yeah.
Just by that happening. So I thought it was a very fun chapter. We're still in like I guess the developing phases of this arc. I don't imagine that like action's gonna get officially started until maybe one or two more chapters to try to get Sakamoto back on his feet and before heading out. Although I imagine maybe the tertiary characters like the side cast is going to make moves in lieu of Sakamoto and give him a chance to come in and save the day in an instance. So I'm excited to see where it goes.